I swear to God, man. Doran, you best not be playing me again. You best not be playing me. Gilneas reclaimed. Yes, we know that. Now in 10.2.5, it has been confirmed. Gilneas will be reclaimed. But what allied races could come of this? And 3 new patches after 10.2? Big surprises planned. Do we trust Doran? Or do we get played again? Let's find out.
So the War Within announcement was super exciting, but then that kind of got me wondering, like, we know that the expansion will be released probably in about a year, which leaves us with a year gap with Dragonflight, and we know that 10.2 is going to be the final raid, so are we actually just going to wait? Like, what are we going to do until that point? Luckily, we just got amazing news from Blizzard that even though 10.2 is the final raid, we should be expecting content patches every 8 weeks until the expansion is actually released, so we are going to be in for some really amazing times. They told us that exciting things will be happening, people have been requesting, as well as some surprising things that no one is actually expecting. We will almost certainly get the continuation of the tier quest line.
Yes,
we will definitely get
tier quest line will
restoration. We might be in for something happening with Gilneas, and we are also probably going to be in for some race class combinations, maybe Night Elf and Paladins, maybe new Druid combos, and we also could be in for a new race, the Tuskarr, that people have been requesting since forever.
I haven't say they're gonna do it, man.
We got
all the evidence is there for the Tuskarr to be a playable race. They literally have every customization in the book. The armor in the game currently fits their skeletons perfectly if you try to do it, and they have mounts, man. They have the literal otter mounts. I mean, how could you not fucking... They did... Blizzard put all this work in just for them to show up in the Azurus ban? I can't imagine that. They have to become playable.
He says by the end, so why not happen now? So what is all this news about these new patches, and what are we going to get through the next year? Did you know you can play WoW directly on your phone?
I'll post the queue for the raid.
Awesome. You can control your PC with your phone completely free, and it is available for Windows, iOS,
it's gonna be under Samiccus.
It is super easy to use. Use my link to download it, get the phone and the PC app, and just connect it. The free version is powerful as you can control your desktop, transfer files, but the game version is where it is at. It has custom keyboards for various games such as Warcraft, and you can enjoy AFK gaming anytime, anywhere with actual game sound. Make sure to use my code DORAN to get 7 days completely free to try it out. Only
posting
for
the queue for raid, boys. Get ready to queue up.
Smart block to turn off your PC at any time, as well as hot sales.
And use code DORAN.
40% off on Pro and
use code DORAN when you sign up for my raid.
Awesome. So I gotta admit, as soon as I heard about the War Within announcement, I was super excited, but immediately as I heard that the release date is probably going to be by the end of the year, potentially even December 2024, that already kind of got me worried, like, what are we going to be doing in Dragonflight? Because we know Farak is the final big boss, there won't be new raids, so that kind of got me wondering, like, how this is going to work out. But then Blizzard came out with an interview giving us some amazing new information on how it is actually going to work out. So to very quickly sum it up, obviously 10.2 isn't the final patch, it is the final raid, the final big patch, and we will be getting 10.2.5, 10.2.7. Yep. This isn't news whatsoever.
10.2.5 confirmed for January. That's wild to me. I didn't even know that was good. It was going to happen that fast. And retaking Gilneas in 10.2.5? Oh, come on. That's some good content.
I actually expected this, but based on this interview, we should be getting potentially 10.2.8, maybe 10.2.7 plus, maybe 10.3 that is not actually a major patch, and we are probably going to also
we're gonna get a season 4. Blizzard did confirm that in interviews with a faded rating and everything else. I don't think we're gonna get another patch though. Even what's it called, Shadowlands didn't give us another patch. They just gave us a 4th season in the final patch. So we'll see. I don't know if what Doran's saying here is right.
For the pre-patch and the next expansion as well. So there's going to be a whole ton of content. This is pretty much exactly what they said. We should be getting a roadmap soon, but we are going to expect new content every 8 weeks, which is even less than 2 months. So as you may know, 10.2 was just released. We should expect a new patch 10.2.5 to happen somewhere around January, so very early winter. Around March, maybe April, but probably March, we should expect 10.2.7. Then based on this, we should expect to get 10.2.8 or whatever it would be called around May or June. Then probably around August, maybe September, we should get the pre-patch for the War Within, and then we should of course get the expansion release date, which is probably going to be happening around late October, November, which is also going to lead us into the WoW Midnight announcement, which will bring us a whole ton of new
there's gonna be so much action.
These are super exciting times to actually be a WoW player in, because we know that they can confirm that they already have 3 teams working on World of Warcraft. So they got a full-on team working on the War Within, which is the next expansion.
That's right.
They got a full-on team working on WoW Midnight, and they also got another live team that is working on these new upcoming updates. This could see
Blizzard said that they want to go with an 8-week cadence on stuff. They do. They want to go with 8 weeks, and we all know 8 times 3 is 27, right? Yeah, that maths for you? Yeah, sure it does. So, I mean, we know how many, 8 weeks going forward on every cycle. That's a pretty quick cadence. It is. So, they need a team that's just working on the live game, and that's what they have. And with the patch coming out in January, they're moving at that rapid pace that they promised us.
This has been an unprecedented amount of content, as keep in mind, they're already deep in development for Midnight, which means by the time Midnight is going to be announced, the next expansion will be half finished, and the team is probably just going to go all in on the last Titan, while the remaining 2 will be working on WoW Midnight. So we kind of already have an outline for the next 3 expansions, but the real question is, what are these remaining 3 Dragonflight patches going to be about? We already know how Dragonflight is sort of ending, so what will be happening? And luckily, we actually got some hints on what should be going on in Dragonflight that is not just pure speculation. Blizzard told us they are super excited about these 3 upcoming updates. It is going to feature a few things the players have been requesting since forever, as well as a few surprises that no one is actually expecting, and it's going to very likely be something big. So before we get into the speculation, I mean, let's kind of cover like what we actually know, like what is not just speculation and what is based on evidence from the things we have data mined in Dragonflight and everything that has already happened in the story.
Doran's using evidence. This is a different kind of video today, guys. I'm excited. Let's do it.
First of all, we of course have the tier storyline, the tier questline that has been happening since the start of Dragonflight, and it will almost certainly be continuing in the next few patches. We already have hints that we will be going to Night's Hold, probably in a time travel scenario, to recover some discs, and they also talked about the Shadowbane's Fated Season, so they want to implement something similar, and we might be seeing some sort of time travel scenarios in at least one of these patches. Now, see,
it's so laggy. What's going on? Why is it doing this? Why does it do this sometimes?
That through the new book, all this new Titan info, Tyr doesn't actually seem to be a great guy, so I'm not actually certain why we're still trying to bring him back, but based on these storylines, we're probably going to be bringing him back in some shape or form, so this is probably going to lead us into a Titan-related storyline that could be happening already in Dragonflight.
Yeah, I agree.
Now, I don't think this is going to be some huge Titan storyline, seeing that the last Titan is going to be a Titan expansion. This is probably going to be something minor. However, if Tyr potentially turns into a bad guy, he might actually escape to Northrend, hide himself somewhere in Ulduar.
Sure.
He could later be the one that is going to actually
look. It's been confirmed that we are definitely going to Northrend. That is a confirmation. Blizzard already said that, likely leading to a revamp of Northrend. But what's going to take us there? We're still we're not necessarily sure yet. Now Tyr obviously could play a role. I think he will going forward. He's always played a pretty big role in terms of storyline and everything going on. So, at Tyr, there's been rumors out there that he could turn out to be a baddie. I don't know. But I always felt like Tyr was the guy who liked us the most of all the Titans. Like, he was the one who was okay with us. He spent the most time with us. He has empathy for us as Azeroth.
Emotional damage!
But, we'll see. We'll see. His storyline is definitely going to move on.
Titans to Ulduar, because remember, in the last Titan they said the Titans will be returning through Ulduar. He could also potentially rebel against the Titans, so Tyr could even become our ally, and we could use him sort of as insider information for the upcoming Titan battles. So all of this could be a setup for like the 3rd expansion will be happening in the next few years. Furthermore, we also got some hints in the new book about some new interesting locations being available in Northrend related to the Primal Incarnates, related to that.
Oh god. Yeah, related to the Primal Incarnates, definitely. I think that's that's a given.
Dragons, so we could potentially be going into Northrend in one of these patches. Probably not going to be a major storyline, as the Northrend is going to be like the main place in The Last Titan, but we could maybe getting a minor storyline happening, so we could even have a potential like return to Northrend, including Tyr, some of the aspects.
Return to Northrend? Look, the whole thing about a return to Northrend is I think they played out the whole Lich King, obviously, but there is Dragonblight, right? That is the true home of the dragons. The Dragon Isles they've been talked about in the lore as not being like the actual dragon home, but in fact, Dragonblight is their true home. So going back there, that's probably what we're gonna do. We'll do some Dragonblight stuff, and obviously we're gonna do some Ulduar, all that stuff. You know, all that's going on over there. We have the Titan facilities over there. As far as the Lich King goes, I really think they played out that lore already. And we're not going to deal with the Lich King at all. I feel like that lore is not going to really come up that much. Maybe we'll deal with the leftovers of the Scourge. We've seen remnants of the Scourge still running around. They still exist. They're just leaderless. And how that happens, who knows? But in terms of Arthas, I don't see us playing too much of a role with him anymore. Sylvanas kind of killed that lore.
Although I honestly think like the major part of the storyline is definitely going to be saved for The Last Titan, as we'll almost certainly get the whole revamped content. Now, another super obvious hint that will definitely be happening in one of the patches is this whole Night Elven restoration that has been building up pretty much for the past
we're gonna finish that in this
since the burning of Teldrassil. We already kind of know what is going to happen. We know Amir Drasil is coming. The biggest hint right now is that it is just going to be teleported to the Uneran Plains, because the Emerald Dream is literally just a zone west of the main Uneran Plains.
Yeah, it fits in perfect. We've already talked about this before. The Emerald Dream literally will come in.
However, there have
and it fits in perfect. What else?
Also been some hints that it could potentially return to Kalimdor, although nothing is certain.
Nah, I don't think it's going to come to Kalimdor. I think that basically they've confirmed it. That is going to show up on the Dragon Isles.
We have data mined a whole bunch of old Night Elven NPCs, which means that the Night Elven restoration is definitely going to be happening, although we don't really...
They even left the camp that was outside of Stormwind is gone now. So that's for sure happened.
100% how exactly it is going to play out. Now, while we're of course talking about the restoration, of course Gilneas is always a popular topic, and something could definitely be happening with them, because we know the Vorgen and the Night Elves are always connected.
Yes, I can't believe that this is coming out in a 0.5 patch. I really can't. The fact that Gilneas is returning in a 0.5 patch, I thought that was going to be like an entire patch, maybe a raid or something, but we're getting it in 10.2.5 in freaking January? That is wild, man. That is wild.
There have been some hints about it, but I don't think like a full-on restoration is super likely in Dragonflight. I mean, in Wild Midnight, we're obviously getting a huge revamp of that entire part of the Eastern Kingdom, so there is definitely being saved for that, but we could be getting some sort of like an introductory quest line that will kind of lead
like the
into
original
Wild Midnight,
content.
so maybe some sort of Worgen returning, or we know that they're planning to return soon, which is going to be like a build-up. Now, you may be thinking like these upcoming patches are going to be minor. They usually include some minor features, not necessarily new zones, but that doesn't always have to be the case. I mean, we had gotten the entire zone on the Forbidden Reach. Furthermore, they're already working. They got a full team working on Wild Midnight, so they probably already have a whole bunch of assets ready. So I wouldn't really be surprised if
they probably do have a bunch of assets ready. You know what I was thinking, though? We are getting Gilneas back, right? Like, that's a race that was brought into the game that never had a true city home. What about the goblins? Didn't their home city get destroyed by a volcano or something? Like, isn't that what happened to them? Are they ever going to get their home city back? I wonder if we'll ever do a quest line for them. Maybe they just make gadgets scan their home. I have no idea, but the goblins kind of got left in the dust.
Included just a few, so that like the transition for the big revamp
and
is going to be easier
right?
later down the
line. We've defeated the Scourge, we've defeated the Burning Legion, but we cannot defeat Leper Gnomes. Those damn Leper Gnomes, man.
Now, of course, other than the more major storylines, we should definitely be looking for some more smaller features, so definitely something dragon riding related.
Yep.
And we could also be in for some really interesting new race class combinations and also customizations, because they're pretty much adding those all the time. So, of course, with all this Emerald Dream stuff...
I'll be honest, the addition of the what's it called? The Stony Boy Dwarfs, whatever they're called, the Earthen, they're not that exciting. When you put armor on them, they're just another dwarfs. I don't even know what the hell.
Pretty much adding those all the time.
Unless you're running around naked, you're never going to be able to tell.
Emerald Dream stuff, the druids, we could be expecting more druids. druids to be added. I mean, they just added a whole bunch of new druid forms, so we could be getting new races to become druids, and we could also potentially be getting new paladins as well.
The problem with adding druids as races is it takes so much work. It is crazy hard to add races as druids, because you got to create all those forms. They are also 4 specs deep. It's just, there's a ton of animations that go into the druids. They're the hardest class to add to any race.
All this night stuff, so we may be
Lord Aron's still waiting on the alliance
happening. Yeah. So I'm 100% expecting
there will be Lord Aron lore going forward. I guarantee it. It's just I don't know if it'll ever be for the alliance again.
Some sort of like new race class combinations being added.
I hope that the undead go back and actually do revamp Lord Aron. Like they come out from under the ground. They have some pride now, and they live above. They don't live in the Undercity anymore.
Game
they live in the ruins of
Dragonflight ends. Now, of course, the biggest thing that could be super interesting is that we could be in for playable Tuskarr. They said that they will be adding some community requests and also some secret things that no one is expecting, and this could be one of those.
I think so.
As I previously stated, the Tuskarr have suspiciously received way too many updates in Dragonflight, despite the fact that they haven't really been that relevant. So they got new lore, they got new looks.
Yeah, like I don't think they did all this just for the cooking pot fucking world quest thing. Like, come on. The Tuskarr are going to be playable. There's no way they're not.
All these new changes and everything like being super updated in Dragonflight. Now, new races don't necessarily need to be announced on BlizzCon, as we have learned through BFA.
No, they
have
don't.
gotten a whole bunch of races later down the line as we have.
Yeah, I think that if they do the Tuskarr, it would be a great like end of expansion patch. You know how we always have that where like, oh, if you did this or did that, you get some stuff early. I think the Tuskarr will be like that final race added to the game, and people want to make Tuskarr, level them up, experience all that. It'll be like really good pre-expansion content. I think that's what will get them.
Finish the quest line, so we kind of pick them up after we have helped them. So this could 100% be happening with the Tuskarr.
Look at all the animations they have, man. That's some intricate fucking animation right there. That was crazy intricate. Like the way he's doing his little crafting shit. Look at the fingers. Look at that shit. There's no way that Blizzard did all that just to create some NPCs in Azure span. Come on.
As you may know, the Tuskarr are super well added into the game, so they would fit really well as a new playable race. And I think they would also be super popular within the
finish
community.
The video. Come on, you can make it. I've been pausing like fucking crazy.
A super interesting thing that I definitely think could be happening is that we could get a patch that is going to be like a pre-patch, so something related to the war within.
That's when I think we'll get the Tuskarrs, like a pre-patch.
So we could potentially be in for some updates to Silitus, maybe something happening with the sword, maybe doing something around that area. Yes. So that it kind of brings us closer to the pre-patch. With the pre-patch, I'm definitely expecting something is going to be happening with those visions. As we had learned, a whole bunch of denizens of Azeroth had gotten these visions, same visions as Anduin and Troll.
Yeah,
so something
except Illyria, though.
Happening.
Illyria's visions are supposedly different from everyone else's.
With that, it is going to lead us into some sort of trouble. However, overall, I would say this is all super good news, despite the fact that Dragonflight has been kind of wrapped up. It hasn't really had the best storyline.
There is a queue up. It's currently almost filled.
We can kind of finish all the main things. We are definitely going to be in for a lot more things happening. It is not the end of Dragonflight. We're going to be in a whole bunch of patches going on right before the war within. Thank you for watching. Check out what is Zelda's crazy plan, because it is crazy, by clicking on the screen. And check out my video on ancient Greek colonies in Spain. I literally recorded this on an archaeological site in Spain personally, so it took a whole lot of time. And you can check that out by clicking on the screen as well. See you next time.
That was a great video. I mean, he used a bit more evidence than usual. Wasn't complete clickbait. Gilneas is in fact being reclaimed. We are getting new allied races. 3 new patches, I don't think. I think we're getting 2 new patches with another season on top of that. So if you want to say that's 3, okay, fine. But all in all, great video. Doran didn't necessarily debate us this time. I'll be fine with it. It's fine.